Okay, today we are going to start kneeling and we're going to get into that diaphragmatic breath from this kneeling position. You're welcome to put a block underneath you if that's a little more comfortable. You can sit up on your toes or on your heels or come all the way down. Find those bottom two ribs and I want you to take those knocks front, side, and back. Start to visualize the diaphragm and start to take that nice big diaphragmatic breath in, filling the ribs in the belly. And exhale, just let everything go. We're gonna drop those arms. Imagine that you have a weighted ball in each hand. That's gonna drop your shoulders down your back. Take that diaphragmatic breath, fill your ribs and belly on the inhale. Exhale, let it go. For this next one, bring your hands down to your lower abdominal wall. Inhale, fill the ribs and belly. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor. So we're stopping the flow of urine and stopping ourselves from passing gas without engaging or clenching our glutes. As you inhale, put that muscle activation down, release, relax, let go. Take it again. Inhale, ribs and belly. Exhale, pelvic floor gently lifts and activates. Inhale, release. Good. Now we are going to add this onto a belly pump. So we're going to exhale, lift the pelvic floor, and start to take that corset around the front of the abdominal wall. So think of those muscles just wrapping and giving you a hug. Inhale, fill, release that core activation, relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor, wrap the abdominal wall. And then what I'm gonna do is pop myself up onto my toes, and we're gonna take this into a kneeling squat. So we're gonna inhale, fill, exhale, turn on this close and lift, wrap up the front as we just come up to a kneeling position and lower ourselves back down. Not a hard movement. But the important thing here is that we're laying the foundation for that breath to initiate our movement. And it's initiating a level change. We're gonna take two more. One more here. And then we're just gonna take a little squat and lift. Bend. Find that hinge at the front of the hip sockets. Coordinate your breath. Two more. Last one. Good. We're up here. I want you to bring your hands to your head. Unless you feel like you're splaying your rib cage open here. If those ribs are popping open, bring them to your hips instead. We're going to take a little lateral shift here, side to side, lateral flexion with that SH sound while we're simultaneously closing and lifting that pelvic floor. Inhale through the center, exhale, check in with your glutes, make sure they're relaxed. Keep your shoulders down your back, two more. Inhale, ribs and belly, exhale. Now take this into rotation, exhale. You're feeling that pelvic floor lift, you're feeling that zip up the front of the body. I always imagine that my core is a wet towel and I'm just gonna wring out all that water as I head into rotation. Keep those hip bones driving towards me. Inhale, exhale. One more on each side. Last one. Great. So we're gonna fire up those glutes now. So you're gonna bring one leg up in front. Tuck those back toes underneath. I want you to just shift your weight forward so you feel that weight in that front heel. Find that activation between your shoulder blades so your upper body's not rounding forward. Take a nice big inhale, release. Exhale, activate the core, activate the pelvic floor. Drive into that front heel to stand. And then exhale to bring yourself back down. We're gonna stay on the same leg. Exhale, close and lift the pelvic floor. Find that corset wrap. Same activation to lower yourself back down. Two more here. Exhale, close and lift. Last one, full release. Exhale, close, lift the pelvic floor, wrap those core muscles. And then take it over to the other side. You're gonna shift that weight forward first. Find that glute. Open up the chest and shoulders. Find that activation between your shoulder blades. Inhale. Release, exhale, close and lift, drive into that front heel, wrap the core. Same thing, to return. Three more. Really finding that glute to get up there. Inhale, fill. Exhale, close, lift, wrap. Great. We are gonna come into an all fours position here. And I want you to just take those shoulder blade activations before we get up to standing. I want you to feel that scapula slide down your back, energy out the top of the head. Come into what feels like neutral, drop your shoulders down towards your hips, and then take your tailbone with that little tuck and release. Under, up, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then take a circle, trying to just isolate that pelvis and go the other direction. Exhale, tuck those toes. Now we're gonna go into a beast where we lift both of those knees up. If this feels like too much on your core, you see any coney or doming, you're gonna go into those paper slides instead. Inhale through the center, exhale, lift. Tuck those toes, inhale, fill, exhale, lift the pelvic floor, feel that corset up the front of the body. 3 more of those, inhale, exhale, draw the shoulders down your back, inhale, fill, exhale, lift, last one, great, tuck those toes, pop the hips up into the air. We're just gonna pedal and press here, right to left. Give me 8 more counts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk halfway up your mat or up towards your hands. Drop your tailbone, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Come up to standing. Whew. Roll those shoulders out a little bit. Roll the hips out, each direction. We're gonna head into a lateral lunge here. So we're gonna step out to the side, finding that glute. Again, same thing we did when we got up and down, but we're gonna come out, find those hips behind you, and bring it back. Exhale. You're gonna take these at your own pace. I want you to make sure that you feel that connection between your core, your pelvic floor, and that leg moving out to the side. And I want you to really feel yourself driving in and out of that leg. That's doing all the work. This one's your stabilizer. It's just there for you to come back to. You feel that glute working as well, but a lot of work in this moving leg. 2 more. Good. We're gonna take this into that position. We're gonna raise those arms and we're just gonna reach and pull and reach and pull. You're constantly trying to readjust to get back into that glute. Don't let this go into your lower back. If it is, bring yourself a little more upright. You're welcome to add those weights. I'm not ready to grab them yet for myself, but if you've got light weights, those will be a nice addition here. Find your breath. We've got 4, 3, 2, last one. Step out of it, shake those legs out. We're gonna head over to the other side. So find that alignment. Take a nice big inhale, fill, release, exhale. Looking for that glute on that moving leg. Keeping the chest open, finding that spot between the shoulder blades. 2 more here. Driving in and out of that foot. Then we're gonna stop here in the center. You can either hold here and belly pump, take those arms, lift and lower, keep this out of your lower back, find your shoulder blades, add weights if you'd like to. And then just check in with those body has. Left side on me feels completely different than it did on the right. That just gives you some insight into where your tightness is, where those muscular imbalances are. 4 counts, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, shake it out. Whew, okay, I'm gonna pick up those weights now, and I'm gonna head into some upper body arm movement with that parallel squat underneath me. So come into small position right underneath your hips. You're gonna take your hips behind you, chest forward, find that spot between your shoulder blades. And we're gonna start with our row here. I've got 2-pounders. You're welcome to take this with a 5, an 8, and 10, a toddler. But I want you to figure out, where do you need that extra strength? Wherever you need that strength, you're gonna turn on that belly pump and wrap those core muscles towards you. Squeezing those shoulder blades together as you draw the arms back. Hold them here on this next one. We're just gonna press and pull. I'm belly pumping on that press. Make sure your glutes are holding you up here, not your lower back. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna make this a more active. Squat it down, press it up, squat. Find your breath. Inhale out, inhale, exhale. Find your glutes. Keeping those chest muscles open, finding that activation between my shoulder blades, trying to draw my scapula together. Feeling those triceps as I kick those arms back behind me. Whew. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna stay in this tiny bent position to make sure those glutes are firing. Arms are behind me. They're lifted up high enough to feel that work versus being down here really low. Trying to squeeze my scapula together as I clap those hands towards one another. Keeping that nice parallel position underneath me. I have a little bit of lower abdominal activation on here to protect me from getting into my lower back. 4, 3, 2. I'm gonna come upright for just a second. I'm gonna get myself back into it. Take those arms behind me, palms up to the ceiling, and tiny little pulses here. Again, drawing my scapula together, keeping my chest lifted so I'm not rounding into this position here. Feeling those lower abs hang on, and glutes are turned on as well. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'm gonna put these down for cardio. You're welcome to use them throughout the cardio section. Just take a moment here. Grab yourself a sip of water if you need it. And we're just gonna connect back in with that deep diaphragmatic breath. So feel your pelvic floor let go. We're gonna go into our first interval, and it's gonna be a power jack. That means that instead of stepping out and bringing the arms overhead, we're actually gonna start with the arms overhead while our feet are together. You're gonna step out into a low V and a squat, side to side, and draw those arms down. So it's almost like a reverse jumping jack. You're gonna set the rhythm with your breath right away. Think of squeezing your scapula together behind you. Really easy to get into that rounded position. That's it. We've got about 30 more seconds here. When you come down into that squat, make sure you've got equal weight on both feet. So you're not just lunging into one side. Up, down, up. Lots of power in these here. I'm gonna count down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. First recovery is gonna be right here. Bring those feet as wide as comfortable. Close your eyes. Give yourself a little bounce, wiggle, circle out those hips. Trying to get yourself right back into that ribs and belly breath. Now the difference between this recovery with the diaphragmatic breathing and what we did at the start of class is that we're allowing our pelvic floor to let go here. When we started class, we wanted to activate it to make sure it was ready for movement. Now we're just teaching everything to turn off as we continue to use that diaphragmatic breath. One more breath here. I am gonna pick up my weights for this next interval. We're gonna head into some booty kickers. My palms are facing down. Chest is open. We've got about a minute here. And all you're gonna do is bring your heel up to your glute. Now those arms are important because I don't want you to thrust that rib cage open and closed. You're finding that scapula activation, and you're gonna keep those arms together on your back body. Keep breathing. Set the pace with your breath in and your breath out. You're doing great. Few more. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Great. Coming down with those weights. We are gonna take a wider stance this time, and you can either bring your hands down to the tops of your knees or all the way down with your elbows on your knees. If this feels like too much blood rushing to your head, bring yourself up to this position instead. And just rock out those hips a little bit. Let the lower back go, let the glutes release, let your pelvic floor let go. Ribs and belly breath. A few more seconds to recover here. And then I'm gonna grab those weights again. And we're gonna take an alternating step back for this next interval. I'm gonna add a bicep curl. If you'd like, you can just keep those hands on your hips. What I'm gonna do is step back into that lunge, bring it back up to the start. So I've got step, return, step, return. I'm taking a nice hinge at the front of the hip sockets to make sure that I feel that front glute firing. If you're working through any kind of pelvic instability, you're either gonna take these here in a nice small squat underneath you, or you're just gonna take a tinier step back to minimize that shift from one leg or from 2 legs to 1. But if that pelvis feels good, use that belly pump. Yeah, find those glutes. That exhale, when you lift your pelvic floor, you feel that corset wrap up the front of the body. That stabilizes your spine and your pelvis. That's what makes lunging, rotating, moving fast doable in a pregnant and early postpartum body. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down to the floor this time. Those weights go down. I'm gonna come into an all fours position, and I'm just gonna sway my hips side to side, take them in some circles. Again, the goal here is to relax your pelvic floor and get back into that diaphragmatic breath. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're not creeping up to your ears. Wag the tail a little bit. We're gonna finish this recovery, and then we're only gonna come up for one more interval. So you're gathering all that energy here. You've got about 2 minutes left of active movement. Find that glute, activate, lift the pelvic floor, get yourself back up to standing. With or without your weights, we're just gonna go into some side to side skaters here. So most of your weight is on your front leg. This back leg is going behind you just for a balance. If you want, grab those weights. The leg that's going behind, the arm on that same side is gonna be the one that comes forward. Find the rhythm with your breath. In and out of that front glute. That front leg's really driving down into the floor. Again, any pelvic instability, these are gonna look a lot different, keeping that pelvis underneath you. But if those shifts are good, you're managing that intra-abdominal pressure, you can take that leg across your body. We've got about 20 to 30 seconds here. You can do anything for 30 seconds. Keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Put these down. We're gonna come all the way down to the floor, catch our breath. Use that core breathing belly pump to get you there. Lowering yourself down. Take a moment with those transitions, especially since we have all that blood pumping through our bodies. And then your choice here, you can either come down to your side or all the way to your back. And you're just gonna turn on that deep diaphragmatic breath here. Inhale, fill ribs and belly, relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, let it all go. So either on your side or on your back. See how long it takes you to get out of this rise and fall in the chest and shoulders. The more you do this work, the faster you'll be able to start making that conversion from sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system. Ribs and belly, let go. Whew. Okay, we're gonna pop ourselves up onto our side. You're gonna find that alignment of your elbow right underneath your shoulder. And we're just gonna take a little lift and lower here. 3, you're breathing to come up. You're lifting the pelvic floor. You're turning on that deep core muscle, hugging or corseting those muscles towards your body. We're gonna take 3 more. Find that scapular engagement down. Last one. Good, and then you're either gonna grab your block or use your arm as a pillow to come all the way back down again. And then I want you to take that top leg. You're gonna extend it out away from you. You're gonna point your toe and you're gonna take a tiny little circle here. So this is small. And you're gonna coordinate your breath. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Reverse that circle, keep that same size. You're gonna check in with your pelvic alignment here, meaning hip bone and hip bone are stacked nice and vertical. And as you take these circles, there's no rocking around in that pelvis. 2 more. You're gonna reverse again. You're gonna go a little bit bigger, a little bit slower. You're gonna feel this go into those deep abdominal muscles. Because that inner core unit, that transverse abdominis is doing a lot here to stabilize, to keep you in this alignment. Glutes are on fire. Breathe through it, reverse. We've got that bigger circle in the body. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna bend that knee in, flex your foot, kick it out behind you. Feel that glute fire. So bend it in, kick and extend. Put a hand here if that helps you get into that glute. I don't want you to feel this in your quads. I want you to feel that release as you come forward, and then that scoop up the front of the body and that glute fire as you kick it back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one here. Good, and then just bring that knee up towards your shoulder and feel that release in the pelvic floor. So close your eyes if that helps you tune into your pelvis. Taking that leg as wide as you need to, especially if there's a belly there. And find that release at the bottom of the body. You're gonna use your belly pump to push yourself up and down the other side. Coordinate with that breath. We're gonna start with that elbow right underneath the shoulders. Hand is either on your hip or in front. Inhale, release everything. Exhale, zip it up. Breathe out, lift those hips. Up and down. Find that scapular activation. I like to visualize that armpit connecting into this hip to keep everything pulled down. Make sure you're not holding any tension in your neck. 2 more. Last one. And again, this is either a block under your head or the crook of your elbow. You're gonna come down. You're gonna extend that leg. You're gonna point your toe, and we're gonna start with those very tiny circles. Check in with this leg. This foot on me right now is holding tension. Had to convince it to let go. This leg is already burned out from that first side. So just allow it to release, although it's doing a ton of work to keep stabilizing. Reverse that circle. Breathing. Find that alignment in the hips and the pelvis. 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, reverse again, bigger and slower. You're really gonna feel that up here. You gotta go a little deeper into your core. My whole leg is shaking as I bring it up and around. 2 more in this direction. Last one, and reverse. Good news, this is the last set of circles for this workout today. Better news, there's only 4 left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then this is gonna feel like a nice release. You're gonna bend that knee forward, find your glute, press it back, turn on that glute activation. So you're gonna try to keep those hips stacked. When you press your leg behind, you've got energy flying out your heel. You feel that activation right here. Put a hand there if you need it. And you feel the deep core muscle, hip bone to hip bone, really hugging in as you press your leg back. We just have a few more of these and then we're gonna stretch. And then you know that you've got your 30 minutes in for the day. Put a check mark in that box. Give me 2 more. Last one. Awesome job. Bring those legs down. So we're gonna open up that knee and you're just gonna pull it up towards your shoulder. And you're gonna think about relaxing and releasing your pelvic floor here. So you can think of your sits bones, those 2 bony points at the bottom of your pelvis, just separating and opening, lengthening the muscles between them here. 1 more breath. Put that leg down, use that belly pump to push yourself up. Then we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together. Sit up nice and tall. Find those sits bones at the bottom, head at the top, and bring yourself forward. Find that release in your inner thighs and pelvic floor. I'm gonna roll up out of that, cross my ankle over my knee, flex that foot, open up the chest muscles, slide that heel back and sit into it. If you need to go a little deeper, flex that front foot. You're welcome to rock in and out of this position. Deep breaths. And then we are gonna switch over to the other side. Flexion in the foot, chest is open, pull back, sit into it. Give yourself a little rock. If that feels good, flex that front foot if you need to go a little deeper. Where is your breath right now? Try to fill that ribs and belly. Then I'm gonna take 1 leg out, 1 leg in, lift up, feel that length on both sides of the rib cage, and then stretch up and into that. Feel yourself breathing into the sides of the ribs. Lengthen through those fingertips to come up, rotate, face your toes. Bring your toes back towards your forehead. Feel that hamstring, get a nice stretch. And then head over to the other side. This leg is out. Both arms go up to feel that length, like someone's pulling you up to the ceiling. And then bend into it, breathe into the sides of the ribs. You're gonna lengthen those fingertips to come up, rotate to face your leg, toes back towards your forehead, and bend yourself forward. And if your body needs any additional stretches, you can pop into one of those stretch videos and spend a little extra time working on the release. And if not, you're just gonna fold those legs underneath you, close your eyes, Feel the spine stacking, one vertebrae on top of the other. Let's take an inhale, gather that energy up above your head. Exhale, float it down. Relax the neck, bring the shoulder blades down the back. Take that 2 more times. Inhale up, find that length up both sides of the body. Exhale, float down, trying to keep that length in the spine. And last one, inhale up, gather that energy, pull it down to your forehead, down to your heart, and let's take one last breath in. Exhale, let go.